Here I am doing an abstract acrylic painting that is meant to represent mental illness. Starting off with a nice layer of gesso all over this canvas board. The canvas board is just a multi-pack from Walmart, and the gesso, I don't know, a generic brand I got off Amazon. Now after the gesso dried, I went in with a nice coat of black. Black is apple barrel paint. Again, I got a multi-pack from Walmart. Now I'm going back in for a second coat of black just because it's a bit blotchy. I want to make sure it's a good, solid base coat. Once the black coat was good and dry, I went back in with purple, as you can see, and I'm going to use the same big flat brush, and as you'll see in a second, I'm going to make some big shapes, just kind of random cloud-like shapes, and this is meant to represent depression. Why this exactly, I'm not entirely sure. Purple just felt right. And the big blobs just kind of lurking there. I don't know. It is what it is. After that first coat dried, I went back in for a second and then a third coat of the purple, just so it wasn't blotchy and see-through as you can see it is right now. Now after the purple, well finished, completely opaque, we're going back in with pink and some round objects. with those round objects, we're going to be making some bubbles. These bubbles are meant to represent joy, happiness, the good things, fleeting and fragile when you are mentally ill, or at least in my experience. Very easily floating away or popping. And pink just feels like a nice, happy color. In fact, on several charts that show moods related to color, pink is the happy color. So that's part of why I went with that. That and color scheme, some of both. Now what I'm using here to make the round shape is just a washi tape roll. It wasn't great because the pink was very translucent. You really had to pile it on there, and doing that inside something wasn't great. But it worked out eventually. Once I finished building up the solid pink color, I went in with red to do some shading. I did not record it though because I had to hold the canvas at like a weird angle and I just couldn't. But you'll kind of see that in the next clip here in a second. You can kind of see the shading here. Now right now I'm taking white and going in and making a highlight on all the bubbles with just plain white. Immediately after highlighting, I mixed up a very light pink. I went back in for, I don't know entirely what this is, a second highlight that's more pink. I kind of messed this one up and I scraped it off, redid it. But this was in my reference photo I was using. They had like this other, and it made it look more bubbly than just a single highlight, so I went with this. But yeah, that's just like a lot of white and a little pink mixed together. After everything was good and dry, I went back in with a palette knife and some straight yellow. Make these nice sharp lines. And this is to represent anxiety. Sharp, cutting through things, cut through the happiness, the depression. It doesn't care. It is there. Please understand, this is only meant to represent my own experience and feelings on mental illness. It is not meant to be universally true or even particularly educational. After everything's good and dry, I went back in with a double layer of a glossy clear coat that's UV protective, just to seal everything in and make sure it's not going anywhere or gonna fade in the light. This here is the second coat right now.